Hello and welcome, Nomads, to the Nomads of Fantasy podcast, a weekly movie and video game club where we make a new universe our home every week. Today we are joined by Eric.
Hey gamers, I remember to hit record on the video this time.
Yay! Bonus. We're also here with Brandon.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up, bros?
I like the ketchup. We need
peoples.
we need better catchphrases for the ketchups. It's just
Let's all sing in harmony.
Welcome.
Nomads!
that'd be good.
Yeah. We're here in March of 23 to kind of hit up what we've been watching, playing, catching up. We like to do this as a little separate side piece. So, guys, it's springtime. It's March Madness. There's all sorts of stuff going on, movies coming out. What have you been up to? We'll go with Eric first.
Me first. Oh
Yep.
boy, I wasn't prepared.
Brandon always goes first.
Well, you know what's hot right now?
What's hot?
Resident Evil 4.
Oh, that is hot.
I did not buy the full game, but I did play the chainsaw demo that they released.
How was that?
I literally just played it right before we started recording. It's really fucking good. I mean, it's
very pretty.
Oh yeah, very, very pretty. I mean, it's if you played the Resident Evil 2 remake, it pretty much looks exactly the same as that one graphically. It feels pretty similar as well, but they got the added mechanics from Resident Evil 4 with the knife and the melee, the roundhouse kicks, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So, but the
flow
of
controls are gone, you're saying?
Oh yeah, tank controls are gone. You can move and shoot.
All the remakes,
just like a real third-person shooter.
They've got the template down pretty good for these remakes because I played through 2 back at Halloween and that was super good. And
so good.
3 followed, but it wasn't as hot. But then 4 has been like the kind of one everybody's been waiting for.
Yep. It's hard. After playing that demo, it's hard not to just want to buy it. But I don't know. I feel like I need to wait for a sale.
Is that at 60 or 70 release?
I think it's at 70 for the... Yeah. I feel like that's just the new standard now.
That's the days we live in.
Yep. But no, it was really good. And the flow of combat is a little bit different from Resident Evil 2. It's a little bit, quicker pace because the flow is basically you shoot the guys in the head and then you stun them and then you do your roundhouse kick and that basically gets them down. And you want to conserve your ammo a little more. That's why you have your knife. So you're constantly knifing dudes. And it's basically just that opening segment with the village where there's like 1,000 dudes coming at you and you got to run away, manage them, turn around, shoot them, run away again when you get overwhelmed. And then the chainsaw dude pops out and he's chasing you around. So yeah, it's great.
So how do they do the control? If like left stick, you can move like sideways now.
Yeah.
Do you have to press a button to like pull up your gun and then you move like the red dot sight around essentially?
No, it's the same as the Resident Evil 2 remake, So you pull up your gun with left trigger and shoot with right trigger. Yep. Okay. Yep, same thing. Yeah. It's modern.
Why would that be any
modernized? Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Because I don't remember seeing the laser sight in the old ones. In 4, I think that was the first one where you could like actually aim at body parts.
That's because it was tank controls,
right?
And it
2,
was like
2 and 3 had that like
it's a stop and
45-degree angle like up and down and shit.
Right. In the original Resident Evil 4 is basically stop and pop. When you're aiming, you can't walk, you can't move. But like in this one, if you're aiming, you can still walk backwards slowly and shoot. I mean, you walk slowly. It's not like you're running full speed while you're aiming, but and it's the same thing with 2 where if you're walking while you're shooting, it's less accurate, but if you stand still, your reticle will shrink down into, so you can get it more accurate, smaller, get those headshots.
I like the red dot sight that 4 had. That's one thing that I remember about.
I don't know if that's an upgrade, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't in the demo. It was just a regular old like 4-line reticle cross.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. It makes me want to.
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Because I played 4 back in the day and I didn't find it scary, but with the higher fidelity, like probably improved gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Is it too scary?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't say it's scary. It's more just intense. When you got like 1,000 dudes coming at you, and like you gotta manage the crowd. That's the biggest thing. Again, it was just the demo, so it was just a little taste of it. But I feel like this game is more about, because in the other ones it was more like you get one or two zombies coming at you, and I guess I'm more referencing Resident Evil 2 remake. You know, you only get a couple enemies coming at you at once, but in this one they just keep chucking them at you, and you got to make sure that you don't get caught in the middle of a crowd.
You always think that maybe you're getting out of it when you pop somebody's head, and then like the thing comes out of its head too.
Yep.
Some of them don't have it, but some of them do, and you're like, oh shit, and then you got a whole nother clip of ammo that you essentially got to put into that thing's head.
It's cool in this one too because there's a lot more mobility. So you're vaulting over fences, you're vaulting through windows and shit. You know, so you're not just lumbering around slow, Leon. This Leon is a lot more agile, which is kind of funny because he's like this. There's a story reason kind of for that, because like from the time Resident Evil 2 happened to the time Resident Evil 4 happens, he gets like trained like in this military special unit, special forces. So he gets like all this combat training, and so he's a lot more agile on his feet. He can do his fancy roundhouse kicks, which instantly kills anything in front of him.
You see those a lot.
Yep. It doesn't get old though. I mean, just from this demo, like I want more of that.
Ashley to get into a trunk and you just see it constantly the entire game.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm pumped to play the full game, just from that little taste of the demo. But I've been waiting for sales with these newer RE games just because.
Dude, Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake are $15 on sale.
They're incredible.
All the time.
I haven't played 3 yet, but 2 is really, 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 really good. Like 2 is I had a fantastic time with the RE2 remake. But I'll play this game eventually. I just don't know. There's just too many other things coming out right now. I can wait on this one.
Wait till Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And like I never played the original either. So
4?
And no, I never played the original for 4.
Oh. Wow.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll have, if I, there's never time to play old games, but I was going to say maybe between the time that I, the time this game goes on sale, I'll play the original. Maybe I'll at least check out the original because I have it, on my PlayStation. So it would be worth booting it up. But
you gotta get that Wavebird GameCube controller.
Yeah.
That thing was a weird one to play on too. But
apparently the Wii is the best way to play the original Resident Evil 4 because you got the aiming controls. Yep. Yeah.
I don't know if I.
That's what people say. That's what people say.
People.
I also want to check out the Resident Evil 4 VR game on Oculus.
I know. I heard that. I've heard that that's the definitive version outside of this remake. But they say that Capcom did not phone it in. Like they
heard nothing but good things about that.
Whole game?
Yeah.
It's the entire game. Yeah. Adapted for VR.
That I actually would like to play.
Yeah. I would probably play that.
How the movement mode goes on that.
There's probably options for teleporting.
You probably would like
smooth.
that because if you like your red light and you can shoot limbs and stuff like that, I mean that's probably the game to do it.
I'd be much more likely to play that version than like the original version.
One of us is gonna play it. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll have to report on that.
Nice. All right. Well, let's hop over to you, Brandon. What have you been up to?
Kind of like Eric, where I didn't play the full game, but I played the beta of Diablo 4.
Oh, nice.
So
what was that?
I'm the punk who kind of was tweeting about like this looks kind of boring, and somebody made a good comment on that tweet where they said, yeah, it does look boring, but playing it's different. So I did, we all talked about playing it, but you guys never got around to. Probably busy. It's hard on the weekend when you're a freaking parent.
I thought it was really funny.
Things going on.
I was the Dave. You said that very mysteriously. I got other things going on. But
Dave got a dog, so
that's true. I'm sure you've had your hands full of
doggy.
No, I thought it was funny because I was the one that was like, "Oh, let's play the Diablo 4 beta this weekend," and Brandon was the one who was like, maybe I'll try it out. But then it flipped.
And then
it flipped. And like Brandon's the only one that actually played it.
I think it being a beta kind of excited me a little bit because like, you have the weekend to do it, So I did. I picked the druid. I heard people complaining about that this one's more or less a broken class and it needs more refinement compared to the others. But there was 5 of them. I want to say it was like druid, necromancer, uh, your
Barbarian.
rogue. It was like I think it was like a barbarian. Yep,
Yeah.
and sorcerer or wizard or something like that. I don't know, some music user. But anyways, I went with the druid because you get wolves
Sure.
and all these animals, and like that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. I don't know how it took them 10 years to do this. Maybe because of like the making the world and the levels took a long time, but I thought that they got really good these days where they can kind of use like I don't know, algorithms to pump out like levels really quick based
Pretty
off of like
much. It's all the
yeah.
same camera angle, so they should just be able to
So or
go
maybe it's just
pretty
a lot of
quickly.
writing and I have no idea. I don't
It's
know
a more
what took
like
so long.
realistic, darker aesthetic, right? Than 3. 3 was
It's
kind of
like
cartoony.
so when 3 came out, it was for computers.
Hmm.
And then they're like, "Hey, why don't we put this on console?" And then they did, and then they're like, "Hey, this is actually more fun with a controller." Holy
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah,
who would have
Diablo
thought
3
this
works
PC
so good on.
game
Yep.
actually would have played better, arguably better on a console, and it did. So 3 was really good for what it did. You know, they had like a rocky launch, they had like all the kind of drama with like the store and merchandise and all that stuff, but once it got rocking and rolling, people fell in love with it. But it was a little bit more, like you said, kind of cartoony. It wasn't as realistic looking. I would say 4 is a little bit between 1 and 3, but it's not as realistic as what 1 was trying to do back in the 90s.
Hmm.
But
It would be
it,
2. One between 1 and 3.
well, I never played 2, so I can't
I
compare
got
the
you,
two.
Dave.
I know what you're saying, but like visually, you know, from those games, yes.
I got you.
1 was trying to be kind of creepy looking back in the day, you know, with its limitations and hardware and all that stuff. But yeah, seeing this was stunning. Like I was on my couch about 10 feet away from the TV, and I'm like, I'm gonna stand and play for a little bit. So I like I do my game yoga. Sometimes I do stretches, whatever. I kind of like loosen up while I play a game, you know, if I'm gonna be in it for a while. And
Doing
I'm just like,
squats.
hold on a second. This is fucking 60 frames a second in 4K. It's just really I'm looking at all the detail. So then I'm like a child. I'm like sometimes I'm sitting not Indian style. I can't say that anymore.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah. Okay.
Although Gandhi was from India and he sat like that, so I don't know what the big
Gandhi
deal is, but
style.
maybe it's yeah, Gandhi style. Anyways, so I'm sitting there like a kid, so close to the TV in the dark with my headphones on, and I'm like, man, the sound is great. The music is very good. It's very fun. It just looks great. It just is a better version of 3. I couldn't get into 3, you know, and I don't like you, Eric. I don't know if I could spend $70 on this. You know,
Yeah.
like the story is not that good. I do like the whole Lilith coming and like the cinematics are great. She's a cool villain. I like kind of where the story's going compared to like 3 I didn't really connect with. But I would say $70 for mindless kind of hack and slashing. Like how can you charge that for that kind of game when you look at like other games like I keep saying this, but like Skyrim. Look what you got out of Skyrim 10 years ago, and there's just so much content.
It's true.
And like Diablo is like, yeah, it's open world now. Like that's kind of the thing. It's like a big open world, and there's a multiplayer layer to it. People go in and out. Like you would see Destiny, and then when you go and do a quest, you go into a cave or you go into an area. Like, and there's live events too, where everybody can gang up on a big boss fight and stuff like that. But there's no way
Well,
this is $70.
There's
I can't
content there
justify
if you want to grind, and if you want to do every class, and if you want to, you know, grind for all the fucking legendary loot and all that shit. Like that's what people who
Some
are
people
really
eat that shit up. Yeah.
right. That's what people who are really into Diablo do. You know, they spend thousands of hours just grinding and grinding to get the best stuff. But
Can't.
I'm not. Yeah, I just
It's
don't
not
play
the way of
games
the
like
Nomad.
that. No, I don't play games like that. No.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. Yes, I'm the one that actually played it, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I wish I got more time to play with it. I got like a level 15 druid. I wish I got to play like a rogue class. That would have been really fun. The powers are so cool. There is a lot going on.
A lot of power
I actually
effects,
like
less sparks and spells.
Yeah,
and making all
yeah.
sorts of
The
cool
abilities
lighting
are cool.
effects and-
Yeah, the powers are really fun. Like you kind of want to just like I want to get that because that sounds cool, you know. And I wish like some games when you look at an ability, I know Fallen Order does this from the Star Wars game and like Assassin's Creed games, where before you buy the ability, you can kind of watch the character perform it.
I love
Where
that. Yeah.
I think they did that in 3, but in this game I could not find it. So it's just like I don't know what that is. Like I don't know if I want to get that. I mean,
It's a commitment. Yeah.
I mean, for like 11 coins, you can reset it. It means nothing to like reset your abilities, but it's just like just show me the video.
Yeah.
Just show me,
Still,
or
yeah.
let me go on YouTube. But that was it. But yeah, it was cool. I think it'd be great on Game Pass.
It's possible. It's possible
I
it
think it'd
could
be great
come
on
to Game
Game
Pass with that Activision deal. Yeah. Or that Blizzard deal. Yep. If it came to Game Pass, I mean, I'd definitely be jumping in there.
All the Diablo games, just get them,
sure.
get them on Game Pass. Fuck it. Come on.
I mean, when the acquisition goes through, I'm assuming that a lot of that stuff is going to come
That'll be
over.
crazy.
Maybe even Overwatch. Overwatch becomes free to play on Xbox.
And like,
or it's two's already free.
It's already free to play. Yeah, two is. Yep.
Sorry, they made that.
And I know like Blizzard has like these games, these legacy. They have these worlds rather. World of Warcraft, Warcraft world. You have StarCraft. You have Diablo. It's really good, and each of them is like has their own genre. But Warcraft at least became like World of Warcraft, MMORPG, and it also was an RTS. So I just wish that like StarCraft got more than just an RTS, because that's a really cool world, and maybe not everybody's into RTS games, the real-time strategy games. It would be neat to see
StarCraft
them do
Ghost. They canceled that shit.
But like, give me a
way back in the day.
Diablo version of like you've made this genre more or less. Like nobody's gonna stop you from like taking the StarCraft approach and just slapping the StarCraft. I'm not saying Overwatch, but at least StarCraft. I think that would work because they were both RTS games. There was the space one and then the fantasy one. Well, I don't know, like
make a dual stick shooter.
Diablo's fantasy, right? It's like realistic. Well, it's not realistic, but it's grounded in like Christianity and like our world. But it just seems like an opportunity there. But anyway, it's always fun playing with Blizzard. Like they are top notch. Like it's the best
production values for sure.
RPG out there. Yeah. So
nice.
I played it. It was fun. Hopefully when's that coming out, by the way?
June, I think.
I don't know.
Isn't it?
I think it's coming out this. June.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty soon. Yep.
Okay.
All right, Dave.
Sneaking up. Oh, it's coming out on my birthday.
Oh.
So, Dave,
let's hear
what
it.
have you been playing?
Well,
sure, Brandon's going to go get a beer now.
There's always like the catch-up episodes. There's always something I'm ready to like.
Always so down on. Yeah.
One thing has been on my docket. It is the critically acclaimed, overwhelmingly positive Valheim. It came out for PC back in 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
By the next year, I think in its first year, it sold 10 million copies. Something absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
People were really into it when it came out.
Made by Iron Gate Studios, which I believe they said there was like 5 or 6 guys when they first put it out, like in the studio. That's who made it, which is super impressive for what they did. But to sum it up, please. No. It's just the art style. It is I
actually like the art style, but
a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players set in a procedurally generated purgatory based on Viking culture, thus the Valheim. So it is like I wrote down D&D and Minecraft had a baby, essentially, where you are, you have your survival, you have your crafting. But this game also has like objectives, which is kind of not in.
What's some of the objectives?
You have to beat beat the 6 elders. It's pretty simple. That's it.
Get stick and stone.
Yep. Smash.
I mean that's what I saw for the first few hours.
Well, you guys played for
we played for an hour and a half.
Hour, and we were, maybe a couple hours into it. So yes, it's sticks and stones. Then now I have like bronze shields and bronze armor and spears and bows and all sorts of.
How long did it take you to punch trees and break rocks and like to get that?
Not terribly long. I mean, I did
Like
put
a
in
whole night?
That first weekend, I put in a good chunk of
It's
time.
just
But
like that's like homework. It's just like work you gotta do in a
it's
game before it's fun. Like that.
part of the survival though. Like
Right.
that's
Part of
Oh,
the
I
loop.
know people. I'm the outsider in this. You don't mind it at all, Eric. Like you're into this stuff a
I
little
like it.
bit.
It's not my favorite, but I'll play a survival game every now and then.
Yeah.
it is. I mean, it's so cozy though. Like it is like something that you can play, and I don't want to say fall asleep to, but something you could play when you're hungover and on the couch and just like not looking to get super intense like a Call of Duty.
Well, you're into it now. You got past that opening crap. Sorry, I shouldn't call it crap because I know you like it. But like you got
Beginning
through all that like
opening
opening.
stuff.
Yeah, and now that you're actually playing the game that they probably really want you to, like you've invested it, they're rewarding you, they're giving you probably a better gameplay loop. Like what is like if you're gonna boot up your Xbox and play right now, like what would you spend the next couple hours doing in that game that would be
So,
worth somebody
well, I
checking out?
mean, this one we were playing all separately, me and a couple other buddies. We
How
ended
many
up
people can you play with?
up to 10 in the world.
Up to 10 people? Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so we ended up all throwing in $30 and just buying a Valheim server for a year. So it is up and running somewhere in probably some deep dark basement now. So there is a world, so anybody can jump in at any time, and so it's now all shared. So instead of like this person logs in and we have to go to their world, that person logs in to go to
That's
theirs.
cool.
Now there's just one cohesive one. So we kind of
That's cool.
had to start from not beginning, because when you bring your guys over, everything that they have, you can carry stuff between worlds. So
I got
50
rocks. I'm gonna bring them over to my other car. I got 50 rocks now. Here. How many rocks do you got?
Here's these rocks.
I can give you some
more like
rocks.
400, but well, I mean,
Wow.
400 rocks.
sometimes listen, you fuck faces. Don't talk
They're just
shit about
busting your
don't talk
balls.
shit about my survival game, because you guys need some sort of shooting mechanic or something. No, essentially we've gone and beaten the first two bosses, which after you beat the first one, that opening area we were in was like the tutorial area, and then you go into the dark forest, which starts to have gray dwarves and giant trolls and skeletons and stuff like that, and you end up getting different resources from that area, and take on the boss of that area. Spoiler warning is a giant ent essentially that you have to fight and defeat or whatever, and then after that you get swamp keys, and now we have to go to the swamp to start gathering resources there, where there's draugrs and there's slimes and
Do
there's
you get mounts?
abominations.
Like, can you ride stuff?
Yeah,
Okay, because like, man, if you're doing that
I
by
haven't
foot,
gotten that yet, but we do have
What?
portals now.
okay, all right.
Ooh,
There are
Oh my
portals
gosh,
to
could
travel
imagine.
between
Yes.
bases, so you can go from the main base, where that's where the majority of the cooking supplies are. You got to have all your workbenches to upgrade and build your new stuff. But currently, yeah, we're starting to move into the swamp, which is getting it's pretty nasty, because every new area you're essentially unprepared for. So when you go into the forest, you're really scared of trolls, because they are like 30 feet tall, and they take a lot to kill essentially. But now I'm wearing troll armor. I'm wearing my murdered victims all over my body. There was a mead hall with mounted heads, and we're starting to get into the cooking, where you get better food, so the food gives you more health, so essentially you can be better prepared to go into the next area. And it's an escalation where now we're fighting with bronze stuff, and we're going to start finding iron, and then we'll end up being able to not get horribly murdered in the swamp. Still get horribly murdered, but when you start building iron stuff, and then I'm assuming there's another area after that. But there's 6 bosses, and we're through 2 of them so far. So
Do you think you and your crew are gonna be finishing this game? Do you think
Yeah.
you're gonna get all,
I'm-
are they all equally like each boss like is equal to the next, or is it like the first one was easier, the next one's harder, the next one's harder, and then the last one?
yeah, like we get to the swamp now, and there are like poison guys and draugrs that like.
So you got to fight them in a certain order then. Okay.
Yeah. If you go up into the
Okay.
mountains, you get attacked by wolves, and you get 1 shot or 2 shot essentially. But it's pretty nasty. But I don't know. The game is so addicting that I kind of want to be playing it all the time. Overwhelmingly positive.
What's so just I'll lay it to rest, but
Steam.
like what is addicting about it though? Like what? Because you've played games, like you've played so many games, but like
It's that
rarely you get addicted. And it's 70.
that's true.
Fallout 76 really had you. Where like you're just gonna play it and you don't care what we're playing. You just gotta play it and it's expected to be playing it. Now it's Valheim. Like what is addicting about this game?
This
Like
one's
what
got
is it?
it's the crafting, collecting, and then exploring loop essentially, where
All of
you
them are
explore
just
for
you like all.
you can do them really in any order. Some dudes on the server now, they just like building, so they'll just like build giant things. Some of the things on Reddit where they have just forums of people showing off stuff they built, like they rebuild like the not the Sistine Chapel. There's that one building in France. That just
Oh, so
burned
it's like
down.
Minecraft for adults.
Yeah, it's like Dungeons and Dragons in Minecraft essentially. Like
I know you said that in Minecraft before, but yeah, like
there's,
if people just want to build,
but
you
the
want to build some
building
shit tonight?
is
Yeah, dude. Build.
physics based, so you have to have supports for everything. You have to make sure
Right.
that you can't just build floating blocks in the air and all this kind of silly
Right.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
I
actually
think the
have to-
smoke mechanic, I thought that was cool. Or like if you have a fire in your hut, it collects in the in the ceiling, and you have to have a window so it goes out. Otherwise, it'll kill you.
Yeah, you will die of smoke
Inhalation,
inhalation
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if there's too much smoke in a room, your torches will go out. Like you can't have your torches too
You
close
need
to
your
the
oxygen.
ceiling. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is super.
It's
super
cool.
too, but I mean,
That's
it's
a cool
that
touch.
it's the loop of, you know, you can kind of do whatever you want. If I log on, I just want to build for an hour. You know, a build. You know, somebody's building a warehouse essentially now, where everything's individually sorted in each chest because, you know, for recipes and stuff, you might need like 2 of this plant, 3 of this plant, and some boar meat, and then you know you can actually make deer stew, and then that helps your health, and you know it's kind of just getting more and more complex as we're going, but it's got that.
Right.
It's got a perfect 10 out of 10 on Steam, and it's still in early access. It's still in beta. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
even-
crazy.
It's not even an official release yet either, which is kind of insane that it's sold over. I mean, it was 10 million copies last year, so at this point, now being on Game Pass, you know, you got a couple million tacked onto there too. But the subreddit for this game is pretty impressive too, with, you know, everybody sharing, everybody's helpful, everybody's giving tips and hints and sharing pictures and all that kind of stuff. So it's a cool community around it. Everybody laughs when people share videos of like chopping down trees and getting killed by it, because tree physics are real too. So if you get smacked with a log on its way down, that may be the end of you. You may be doing a corpse run to your murdered tree body. So, but
My favorite was when it gets dark outside. You're cold, so you gotta go inside and warm up.
well, your stamina just regenerates slower. That's all it really means. But
Cold and wet.
I'm like, I can't see anything. It's dark.
yep,
I hear things. I'm
everybody
running
needs a
to-
bed.
Yep.
If you want to sleep till morning, it's good. I don't know. I don't
It's
know what
impressive
else
that
to
it was a
say.
small team though to get that many people to download it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's
They
big.
just released another patch for Xbox just the other day, so it is constantly being updated. I think when it released, they only had 5 bosses, and now they've released new biomes and a boss. So they may release.
That's cool.
They release like the Mistlands with whatever boss goes with the Mistlands, and you know, it's just every new one that you go to is, you know, you think you're hot shit, and then you go to the next biome and you get fucking horribly murdered or smashed into pieces, and have to go reclaim all your stuff off your dead body. It's fun. It's a good loop. All right, enough about Valheim. What else? What else do you guys got? Ah!
Well, speaking of cozy games,
Ooh,
played
yes.
another little cozy game. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. It's called Tchia. Tchia. Spelled
Tchia.
yeah, Tchia.
Tchia.
Tchia. It just came out to you can buy it, but it also came out to PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever the subscription tier is. So I was able to download it for free since I have that. And it's basically like I feel like the best analog to describe it is like Breath of the Wild mechanics. So it's like exploration. It has the same like climbing mechanics, and like it has a glider. and all this
just gonna
stuff.
say
Does your weapon break after you use it 3 times?
So it's not really, there's not a ton of combat in this game.
Okay.
I haven't really played a lot of it. I've played like the first, I don't know, hour or so. I kind of got out of the tutorial part. But it's just instantly kind of fun to just move around and fucking.
Beautiful.
There's a lot of like physics based stuff like in Breath of the Wild. So you can like climb up on a tree, swing back
Yeah.
and forth and fling yourself
Yes.
off and then
Like
go
a
into like a
car?
glider, dive into the ocean. Yeah, it's really cool. And then at a certain point you get this ability where you can basically transport your soul into anything on the island, essentially, like any animal, a lot
pretty
of
sweet.
different inanimate objects. So you can just like transfer your soul into a rock and fucking hop around. And then you can do there's some really cool mechanics where you can do like a soul throw, so you can like throw yourself out of it. So that's how you can defeat some enemies, by throwing like yourself out of a rock, propelling the rock forward. So there's a lot of cool physics based stuff. And like if you're swimming around the ocean, you could transport yourself into a dolphin and just fucking start swimming
That's
around
cool.
doing flips and shit. But
It's
it's
a very
more
Nintendo
yeah,
mechanic, I feel.
the
to do something
mechanics
like that.
feel really good. And it's just fun. It's just fun to move around. It's also based on like the team that made it is from the island and like the lore that it's based on in New Caledonia, I think it's called.
Okay.
Some island way out in the middle of the ocean, but it's pretty cool. There's some history in there as well, and like a little bit of backstory about the island and like their culture, so you learn a little bit about that too. But no, it's fun. It's a cozy little game.
Sounds like pretty chill.
No, yeah, it is really chill. I want to play a little more of it. Like I said, I haven't played too much of it, but what I have played so far, I've liked. And like, I don't know, just something I'll throw on every now and then if I'm, it's one of those games where you hop in for like 30 minutes or something, hop in, hop out, but it's fun. Just thought I'd mention that one. It's a small little one that I was playing.
Cute.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's hop over to Brandon. You got anything else?
Go back to me.
Yeah.
I actually finished a couple games. So if you listen to our Cyberpunk Edge Runners episode, just before that episode recorded, I finished the game Cyberpunk 2077. I'll just give a quick review of that game. I feel like I did not explore enough of the game. I just kind of stuck to the main line, and then I did the one side quest where I helped the Nomads. How could I not, right? That's just all the stuff outside of the city. So I did get to see the main quest through the city of Night City. It takes place in Night City, and then I did the side quests out in the Badlands or whatever. It's really good now. I didn't play it when it came out, when it had all those issues, but I really liked. I'm glad I finished it. I kind of feel like I tried to rush it for the episode so we could talk about the anime, Edge Runners, but I think when the DLC comes out for Cyberpunk, I'm gonna try to lose myself to it, because I was for a while just walking around, like I could teleport around, but like I want to walk through this. I want to appreciate it, and like that game is ridiculous. It's just so detailed. There's just so much detail.
A lot
It was
to
fun
it.
to
looks
it's
really
a slow,
good.
slow walker. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really good. So, yeah, and thinking back on some of the key events that happened in the game, like those were some pretty cool game. And like, you can games like that. You can do anything you want. You could, be sneaky, or you could go guns a blazing. And some of the missions, I know they wanted me to sneak in, but I just did not want to play that game that way at all. I played it on easy anyways. But I'm not really dying a lot in this game. I know how to like manipulate the AI so they don't come after me enough, and they're pretty good, and they'll blow up vehicles if you hide behind them, stuff like that. But like, I'm pretty good. I go in, I heal. Like I have like 80 med packs, so I just run in, guns ablazing. So it'd be funny. The audio, the game would like try to talk to me, and I'm just zipping through stuff. So it'd be like, all right, V. So when you get to the top of the balcony, I'm already on top of the balcony, climbing up like this ladder. Oh, all right, now V. And it's like they kept having to cut themselves off. It's like, damn. Sometimes the city
Slow down.
Yeah, he's just trying to be sentimental. Something's like, like you and like
You're a
Keanu Reeves is
cutscene
in the
skipper,
game.
though. You
Yeah, but it's not
you're
even.
not ashamed to skip a cutscene.
It's not a cutscene though. It's like
Yeah, I'll
it's just
stop.
like
I'll
dialogue.
stop
Like
and wait.
because like Keanu Reeves' character is in your head, and he's just like he'll do that thing where like as you're walking through, he'll be leaning against the wall, and he'll be like, he'll say something to me, but I'm like, yep, yeah, I got time for that.
See
And I'll
ya.
just run through, shoot people up, and then I'll hear like I don't know how many people are going to be in that room. Let's be careful. I'm like, I already killed everybody. Like, what are you talking about? So the game I think wants you to slow down a little bit, but like I was just going through just mowing people down. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like,
You're being
they're
so
like, take a
cyberpunk,
van,
though.
sneak in, go through. I'm like, or I just go in, guns ablaze, and I'll just shoot stuff, and then I'll leave the area if they can't, and then I'll go back and kill that guy. So I was, maybe don't do that. Maybe if you want to, like, really experience what they
You
wanted.
live in the
slow down.
universe.
Yeah,
Just
and
say,
I tried doing that, and it is.
So
more,
did you play it just like a straight shooter? You didn't use any of like the hacking stuff or?
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
No, I just loaded up on my body and my reflexes and like brawler, like cold blood kind of stuff. So I was just like, 'cause it's cool. You have like two weapons.
You can
You have three
specialize.
weapons. You have two firearms, right? And then you can have a sword or a butcher knife or whatever. So I don't know. I had a really good sword. So if people got too
Sword
close,
was
it would-
awesome in that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You can
So
mess people up.
yeah, grenade. There's tons of grenades. I don't know. The game just provided you enough to make it play like an action game if you wanted to. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
did. Even though I
definitely.
don't think the story was meant like that, but I think the side quests probably won't be that deep. Maybe they will be. So I don't know. That was one thing that was kind of weird. It was like, man, I probably should have listened to the people talking a little bit more. But I loved it. I keep thinking about it, especially after the anime. Like as depressing as that world is and that story is, I kind of grew fond to the world, and I want to go back.
It's easy to get lost in it. Like I've been playing a little bit of it too lately, and yeah, it is really really good, and it's a lot. I mean, I didn't play it at launch. I waited until they fixed all the stuff. There is some jank still in there.
Oh, there's
because I noticed I was doing a mission where I was my main move is to use the reboot optics so they go blind and then I come up and kill them with a sword. But a lot of times when I would do the reboot optics, they would just do straight T-pose, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, yep.
There was the NPCs crack me up sometimes when you're walking through the city. There was like something going on where I was like looking at this like balcony, and then there was like a staircase, and then the NPCs could like go. It's like a motel or a hotel or an apartment or something like that. And I was watching everybody. They're walking down the hall, the balcony, or whatever. And all of a sudden, they would just pop up and walk on the railing, and then they would pop down. And I was like, "Oh, that was weird. Like, why'd that guy do that?" And then this game's just full of so many NPCs that there was just like 30 people that they all did it. They just like, boop, 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 I'm just walking on this railing here, like on the third floor, and then pop down and walk down the stairs. It's like. That is it. Look, because at the time I was like, "Man, this is so beautiful. It almost looks real. What's going on there?"
Yep. There's just always something weird happening. Yep.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, considering what they put into it and all that stuff, it's still a massive achievement in gaming stuff. I love well-defined open worlds. Like truly handcrafted. That you could tell they made this stuff with love and. They took a long time building this world, and they really thought about playing it and walking through it over and over and over again. So I just want to appreciate it. I just want to spend more time there.
The city does feel like well thought out and
feels like a city.
Yes, absolutely.
Feels like a city.
Well lived in.
You walk in.
Yep.
Like I talked about Skyrim. I already talked about it, but like I'm going to the capital of Skyrim. It's just like 50 buildings.
And there's like 10 people in the whole city.
Yeah. There's like. If a fucking dragon showed up, you guys would be toast. This is just be thousands of people, but I get the limitations.
What I liked about
cities.
The world in the game over the anime is that the world felt realer and felt more lived in or populated or whatever.
Yeah. And then the last thing it was just I finished Hellblade randomly. It's just something. Looking at games that take up space in my Xbox, I'm like, man, that's like 45, 60 gigs or something like that. And I'm like, I think I'm at the end. Let me load that up real quick. And I looked at like somebody on YouTube. I'm like, oh, I got like an hour left of this game. So I had the last hour queued up on my phone. And I was just trying to crush through that game
Mm-hmm.
because I do want to play the second one. The only thing is, I'll say this, and I don't know if it's as good as people said it was. I know it's been out for a few years. Ninja Theory is a great developer, uh, and there is some impressive things that they did with Hellblade. I'm not knocking the game, but the story is makes no fucking sense. It's just, it's like when I was talking about the game Control. It's just like, what are you writing? What are you saying? Like, what is it? So weird and abstract. It's so, I can't stand that shit. It's just like, it's just
Talking about
art, man, and
mental
religion. And I get it, but
mental issues and stuff
after
like that.
hours of playing that game, it makes no sense.
You play that with
It
the
makes
headphones on?
no sense. Oh yeah,
That game was
play a lot of games
super
with
good with the
headphones.
headphones on because
Play all
they,
games
they
with
did a lot
headphones.
of like really weird, crazy audio engineering for that game.
she's suffering from
Schizophrenia or something.
schizophrenia or something like that. Yeah, paranoid schizophrenia and stuff like that. And I appreciate the sound production. I get that part. I'm talking about when she meets other characters. You know, it's just there's monsters and stuff in that. It's just like makes no sense. And I know that's like a style. I just don't like it. Like, give me a real story that I can kind of. I don't relate to Senua in any way, and like I have no idea what's real and what's not. And I know that's the point, but and then the way it ends. I don't know where a fucking rock song starts and it just ends. It's just like you can't give me a prologue. You can't end it and give me like a scene.
That's the
Yeah,
thing
literally,
to do.
you do the last fight, a thing happens, and then by the way, I'll tell you now. If you get to the end, it's like wave after wave. You go a little bit further, wave after wave. You go a little bit further, you wave. The last wave, if you're still playing that last wave and it's like 20 minutes in, die. You're supposed to lose the fight at the end. I know that she doesn't die because she's got another game coming out, but like you're supposed to lose to wrap up the story. But they don't give you that hint, so you're fighting, and I'm like, started like not caring. It was a weird feeling. I'm like, how long is this gonna go on for? Like it's too long.
Right.
And then I went
Yeah.
in the comments and I saw people saying the same, like, holy shit, I had no idea that you're supposed to lose. Like people are talking about how long they lasted. I'm like,
That's gotta
the-
suck.
the thing should have said something to you at the end and be like,
Or
you know,
make
like,
it
it's
more.
inevitable.
If you can survive that long, make it more difficult, so you will die faster.
Right.
Ramp
They,
it, yeah,
they
ramp
just
up
keep
that-
coming.
Weird.
That's all.
That's weird. Weird way to end a game.
And then the puzzles is the only thing that like is kind of a. The
That's what
mechanics
turned me
fine, the
off
world's
when
fun,
I played
but
it.
the puzzles,
Yeah.
it's all about like standing in the right spot to see something, and after a while, that mechanic gets kind of old. There's a couple things they do fresh where like you can't go in the dark because like a dragon in the dark will come and like kill you and stuff like that. And the screen turns red and all that stuff like that. That's cool. You know, get to the next fire. You know, pick up the fire, like light something up, and you know, go underwater. Now it's like out. Like I like that. That was fresh, but a lot of it was just, oh, there's a bridge. I can't cross it. Well, maybe if I climb all the way up there and I look at it at the right angle, it'll fuse. It's just like this. I don't know if that's a good mechanic throughout the whole game, like a couple times, but so the puzzles were
Gotta
at the
reuse 'em.
weak spot. Yeah, it's just
Happens.
like you kind of want to, especially when you're like me, where like games are so long. There's so many games out there, and now they're remaking them and remastering and
That one wasn't
DLCs
even
and all
that
stuff.
long, was it?
It's not that long, but you just want to get in. And sometimes you just want to wrap up a game and experience it. And like these puzzles can be a buzzkill. So just something to consider if you do want to play Hellblade. It's definitely worth playing.
6 to 7 hours.
If you can,
That's it.
yeah, if you're good at solving the puzzle, dude. There was one puzzle where I put the game down for like a year because I didn't know what to do. It's like halfway through the game, I could not figure it out. I don't know how I figured it out. I only used
Probably YouTube.
somebody. I know I never did up until just the last hour of the game. So I don't know how I figured it out, but it was like driving me crazy. You know, like they don't. Tell
Maybe it
you
was meant
really
to
anything.
drive you
And
crazy.
then when they talk,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
There it
But
is.
like
It's part of the
I don't
game.
know. It's all abstract shit that they're telling you anyway. So you just like, I mean, it doesn't help, you know. So I don't know. It's so negative sometimes, but I had a good time. So
Cool.
I beat 2 games. It's also I beat 2 games in the same day. I beat like Hellblade, I think that same night, and I was just like, man, when you finish a game that you've been working on for like a while, it feels good. It's like finishing a book, you know.
Sure.
Close the chapter. And you're like, I
Now what's
make
next?
a mental note of what.
You gotta
happened
tell
there,
people.
and you don't have to play it again.
I beat a game. Actually, I beat 2 games. One of them was open world.
Whoa.
It's not,
Whoa.
you know, not bragging,
Excuse
but
Speaking of open worlds, Eric, open us up to a world that you've been in.
Well, we're running long here. I'll just I got
Okay.
a couple quick hits before we
Yep.
get out of here. Cooking Simulator came to Game Pass. It's
That
actually
sounds
pretty fun. You're based
I want to
just
try that.
you just run in a restaurant and you get recipes. Got to cook the recipes, but it's a little bit
Like,
finicky using a
Shake the
controller.
stick to like do stuff, or
It's yeah, you
Red
have to
pepper, salt,
yeah,
pepper.
it's very like you have to do everything physically with your controller. So like you want to flip this piece of meat, okay, you got to press A on the meat. You got to use the analog stick to control the spatula, scoop it up and flip it over. So like everything is very manual when you're
Sounds
doing
so
it.
That's a
much cooler.
Wii game if I ever heard one.
Well, listen, there's a VR version on Oculus which
Yeah,
I
there you
bought,
go.
but I haven't tried it yet.
That's
Okay,
what you wanna do.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I really did like the version on console, and I'm like, I know there's a VR version. I'm just gonna buy that and play it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna try that out. I tried out also the Exo Primal beta, which was a while like at the beginning of the month.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
I know you guys. I wanted to play with you guys, but ended up whatever. Again, just beta weekend ran out of time, so I played by myself. I only got to play like one match. So I went through the tutorial and played like one round, but it's basically Left 4 Dead combined with like Dino Crisis with a little bit of Overwatch.
I'm done. Dinosaurs are cool.
So like it has Overwatch style classes. You know, there's like the tanks, support, and you know the attackers. And so that's where it's kind of Overwatch. The multiplayer's kind of cool because it's big. It's wave based. You're fighting these dinosaurs, but you're competing against another team to complete the objectives faster. So like it's two competing
pretty sweet.
teams, and whoever gets to the end the quickest is the one who wins. And you can like fuck with the other people, like send dinosaurs to the other people's instance of the game. You can even become like a huge T-Rex and you know mess up their shit in their version of the game. Like it's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Oh,
The
very
mechanics feel good. There's so many different like characters to choose from each class, and they're all unique. I tried a couple different ones out. But yeah, and there's just fucking. You ever seen a waterfall
dinosaurs.
full of dinosaurs? Because that's in this game. You just got thousands
sick.
and thousands of raptors coming out of a portal, coming at you, and
Okay.
you're.
cool. That sounds pretty sweet. Yeah.
I was mainly like this explosives guy who had like a rocket launcher and grenades and stuff, and like it was just so fun just blowing up dinosaurs. So that's coming to Game Pass pretty soon, actually. So I definitely want to
Really?
try that one out with you guys. And last
Okey-dokey.
one, I've been playing Fight Night Champion
Yeah.
because that is on EA Play Game Pass. Again, we're doing Game Pass ads on this show, but listen, man, there's just so many games on Game Pass. I was in a boxing mood, so I booted up Fight Night Champion, going through the story mode for that, and like I think that came out in like 2011 or something. And
Yeah,
They always
it's
look
older.
good though. Does it look good?
it's a
still?
360 game. It still looks great and still feels great. Like the
sweat
boxing
and the-
mechanics are like still
Yeah.
some of the best out there, you know? And like I feel like they don't make boxing games really anymore. They actually just came out with one recently. But or not I think they came out with like a demo of one, but there's one in
Yeah.
development, but no, the
There's
Fight Night
UFC
games.
now.
Yeah.
UFC
that
games
too.
are fun though, but
Right.
there's something about those fight night games. You know?
Yeah, love the Fight Night games. I was in the mood for one and
It's
like
sweet science.
it still feels
Then-
so good.
Are you doing the story mode in that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Because story mode is the best part of that.
Story modes, yeah, it's actually really good.
Because, yeah, they got long cut scenes and they talk about, like, you know, you get some build up before each fight. So you get a little bit of hype to you before you go in there. Like, you definitely don't want to be
Yep. They're
getting
not
smacked around when you go into those matches.
they're long, but they're not too long. And then each fight is cool because it's like, okay, this guy will, you know, take body shots on you, so make sure you're defending your body. This guy, you want to, you know, circle around on the outside because he doesn't guard his, you know, his right side enough. So like they give you for each fight throughout the story, it's like you have to play out a different scenario and kind of play it how, you know, how it goes in the story. So it's pretty cool.
A lot of different arenas, too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That'd be a good one to head back and replay.
Faux show.
I don't think I got anything else, really. I started getting back into Daredevil because it's just something to watch. I got a Google Nest, so now I can watch Daredevil while I fold clothes or do dishes and shit like that. It's nice little one. I've also been playing a game called Valheim. Did I tell you guys about this one? Oh,
And that's all for today, folks.
You guys are fucking losers. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's all we got for this week, this month, actually.
Yes.
Hopefully, I have some new stuff to play next month as well. But
I hope so too.
in the
I hope so,
meantime,
too.
Eric, if
I don't want to hear about Valheim next month.
Oh my god, it's still gonna be happening. I promise you. I'll be collecting so much wood and so much deer meat. You guys are gonna be so
Can't
sick of
wait.
it.
Can't wait.
If people want to get a hold of us, Eric, how would they reach out? Tell us about games other than Valheim.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Dave. If people want to reach out to us, they can reach out at Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. You can visit our website, thenomadsoffantasy.com. Join our Discord, nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. Play our game, whatmapgame.com. If you like guessing video game maps. But yeah, I think that's it for this month.
Nice. Awesome. Well, until next month, safe travels,
Nomads.
Safe travel, Vikings. I'll see you in Valheim.